Have you ever woken up from a dream that was just so incredibly vivid, so bizarre, especially during a stressful week, and you just think, where in the world did my brain come up with that? Well, today we're going to decode that nightly madness. Right? It's a question we've all asked ourselves. It feels like our brain is just throwing a bunch of random, chaotic images at us. But what if it's not random at all? What if there's a hidden logic, a system at work, especially when we're under pressure? Well, let's dive into that. You know, there's a fascinating piece of research that gives us an entirely new way to think about our dreams. It suggests that our dream life is way more organized and, honestly, more purposeful than we ever imagined. It turns what looks like chaos into a really coherent process. The key word there is active. See, dreaming isn't something that just happens to us while we're asleep. Our brain is actively rehearsing, sorting, and integrating. It's basically putting in a night shift to process everything we went through in our waking life. So, how does it do all this? Well, to really get the logic of our dreams, we need to understand the difference between two kinds of feelings that operate on two totally different timelines. And trust me, this distinction is absolutely crucial. Let's think of it like this. Mood is the weather. It's the overall climate in your mind. It's slow-moving, it's persistent, and it can last for days. Emotion, on the other hand, is like a lightning streak. It's a fast, intense reaction to something specific that happened today. One is the backdrop, the other is the drama happening right on stage. In the source material, they call mood the background unresolved strain. And that's exactly what it is. It's the leftover stress and tension from yesterday and the day before that you just haven't quite worked through yet. It just sits there in the background, kind of coloring everything. An emotion? That's the jolt you feel today. You know, a tough conversation at work, missing a deadline. Those are your daily stressors. Now here's the kicker. The intensity of that emotional jolt is amplified by your underlying mood. So if your background strain is already high, even a tiny daily event can feel absolutely huge. Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. We're going to look at a real-life case study from the research where they tracked one person's dreams over 5 straight nights. We get to see this whole system in action. So here are the 5 dreams. They start in a place of anxiety and responsibility. You've got dreams about being too kind, about forgetting important things, wrestling with social pressures. But then by night 5, you can just feel the shift. The last dream is a calm, reflective walk with a mentor. You can literally see the story playing out here, from tension to resolution. For those first 4 nights, the pattern is incredibly consistent. A specific stressor from the day gets poured into the dreamer's mind. And that existing background mood, that unresolved strain, it acts like a giant megaphone, just amplifying that stress into a super high anxiety dream. And this happens again and again. And the amazing part is, the researchers didn't just observe this. They actually quantified it. They scored the mood level each night and then calculated the final dream emotion score. Now, the key thing to notice here is the pattern. For the first 4 dreams, all those emotion scores are positive, and they're pretty high. But then, look at dream 5. Something is very, very different. Let's actually visualize that because it makes it so clear. When you map it out, you can see the emotional intensity. The bars for those first few dreams are way up there in positive territory. This is the visual proof of that cycle we were just talking about. The background mood is making the daily stress feel so much bigger in the dream world. But now, watch what happens on night 5. Boom! The emotional value just plummets, all the way below 0. Now, this isn't just a small dip. This is a fundamental change in what the brain is doing. It's a huge turning point in the whole sequence. So here's the big aha moment. That negative number means the dream isn't just magnifying the stress anymore. It's actively reducing it. The content of that dream, that calm walk, the chat with the mentor, is actually working to resolve the background strain. The brain has literally shifted from sounding the alarm to cleaning up the mess. And what's really incredible is that we can take this entire dynamic, this whole complex 5-night journey of stress and resolution, and boil it all down to a single number. It's called the Cumulative Sensitivity Index, or CSI. You can just think of it as your own personal stress sensitivity score. It measures on average how much your lingering mood tends to crank up the volume on your emotions when daily stuff happens. For this 5 dreams sequence, that CSI score is 0.46. Just a simple number that tells the whole story.
So, a score of 0.46 tells us two really important things. First, since it's a positive number, it confirms that, yep, the dreamer's background mood does amplify their daily reactions. But second, the fact that it's a moderate number and not something super high shows the power of that final integrative dream. That one night of resolution helps pull the whole average down. It's proof that the brain knows how to self correct.
So, what does this all mean for you and me? Why does any of this matter? Well, it completely reframes how we should think about our own dreams. Your dreams are not just random noise, they are a highly sophisticated system. They're your mind's night shift, punching the clock every night to rehearse challenges and process all that unresolved strain from your day. And the system has a goal. It's trying to move from just amplifying stress toward actually resolving it. Your dreams are a window into your mind's incredible, adaptive, problem-solving power. And this isn't just some nice psychological metaphor. The source material grounds this entire model in the physical brain. This strain they keep talking about, it's supported by real things, the neurotransmitters and electrical signals that are literally powering our brains, the flow of stress and its resolution. It's a real biological process. So, the next time you wake up from a really intense dream, don't just brush it off as random nonsense. Instead, maybe ask yourself, what unresolved strain from my life is my mind rehearsing right now? What problem is it trying to solve? Because now we know there's a hidden logic, a purpose to it all. Which leaves us with one final thought. What is your mind working on tonight?